Hi guys, we're here doing IXL one more time. We're in the geometry section of the algebra. This is Algebra IXL, Algebra 1, and our section is F3, area and perimeter word problems. So make sure you have a calculator handy. I'm using the app on my phone. This is called Wabbit MU with a W. Anyway, it turns it into a TI-83, which is a really nice calculator. Hopefully you can see it. Uh, I use that as my main calculator. And well, let's get started. We're doing F3. And our first problem is a plastic tarp has sides that measure 5 meters long. What is the tarp's area? Well, we obviously have to make an assumption. I'd say 99% of tarps are rectangles. So it says, and in this case, it's a square since they didn't specify. Oh, there it is, square. Got to read my directions. There we go, square. So it's 5 meters long, and 5 squared is how we find the area of a square. Normally I would draw a diagram and write a formula and substitute inside parentheses and simplify and solve, but there's not a whole lot to do. So this is 25 meters squared. A little loud. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. Let's see. Oh, try that. Okay, this one we have a rectangle this time, and it's a metal perimeter of 26 centimeters and an area of 40 centimeters. Now for these particular type, let me get this moved real quick here. And they want the dimensions. So what we're looking for is we want a perimeter of 26 and an area of 40. We could set up two systems of equations and solve it, but in this case, it's probably going to work out evenly. So we're going to trial and error it. I'm going to try 5 and 8 because that's the first thing that comes to mind. 5 times 8 is 40. I could also have tried 4 and 10 and 2 and 20. And that one got covered up a little bit. I've actually got my little window there. 2 and 20. And there's other possibilities. But what we want is we want to have a sum all the way around of 26 centimeters with an area of 40. Now, the only ones we want to try are the ones that have an area of 40, like 1 by 40, 5 by 8, 4 by 10, and so on. Well, just as an example, this one would have 28 for its perimeter. The perimeter is equal to 28 because that's 10 plus 4 plus 10 plus 4. This one has a perimeter of 26 because if I add up all the sides, I have 8 and 8, 5 and 5, which is 26, in this case, centimeters. So we are talking about a 5 by 8 or 8 by 5. Order shouldn't matter. This one, very similar. This time I'll draw my diagram. I'm going to try 8 by 10. And my first try worked. 8 and 8 is 16 and 20, which makes 36 inches for my perimeter. And 8 by 10 is 80 square inches. Now later on, you will have much more difficult problems where you're going to have to actually write the formulas and substitute and use systems of equations to solve them. But these type you can just guess and check. Oh, this one's a little more interesting. Oh, this is much better. Okay, so this one actually requires us to follow the steps because we are given a perimeter of a rectangle. It's fairly difficult, and it tells us the width. So in this case, I'm going to draw a diagram. It's a pretty big rectangle. We know that the perimeter is equal to 154 meters, and the lawn is 27 meters. The width is 27 meters. And we want to find the length. So I have a diagram, I've labeled it. My next step is to write a formula. And in this case, the perimeter is equal to 2L plus 2W. And then we substitute, sorry, move this out of the way. There we go. We substitute inside parentheses. My perimeter is 154. 2L plus 2 times W is 27. I don't need the parentheses around the 154. Then we simplify. So we have 2L plus 54. That's 2 times 27 is equal to 154. I want you to notice I follow the steps exactly. We started with a diagram. I labeled it. I have a formula. I substituted inside parentheses. I'm actually going to do that. I simplified by multiplying this one and removing the parentheses over here. And now I'm going to solve. We solve by subtracting 54 from both sides and then dividing by 2 on both sides. A lot of times I like to write those steps, but in this case, I'm just going to let it go. This is meters, so we're talking about 50 meters. My favorite kind of problems. We have a cost per square meter, so we have to find the square meters. And how much did it cost to build the deck? I'm not going to go through all the steps because it's pretty straightforward. The deck is I assume, rectangle. Again, rectangle. This time it didn't specifically say, but it is a rectangle that's 6 by 9. So we're talking about the area is length times width, at least hopefully. That's 6 or 9 by 6. It doesn't matter the order because of the commutative property multiplication. That means I've got 54 square meters of deck, and it costs $77 per meter squared, per square meter, sorry. And we multiply it. That is 54 times 77. So I turn it on. 4158. Sorry, next time I'll show you the canceling of the units. That is. The area of a bookmark is 24 square centimeters. The perimeter is 22. What are the dimensions? Again, we've got to try a trial and error. And I'm going to try, well, I know it already, but I'm going to try 4 by 6. 4 by 6 is 24. And in order to find the perimeter, I have to add up all the sides. This is 6, and this is 4. And if I add all these together, I get 20 centimeters. 4 and 6 is 10, and 4 and 6 is 10. And I get 20 centimeters for the perimeter. The area is, of course, 4 by 6, which is 24. Now, unfortunately, that is not the right answer. And I need a little bit bigger perimeter. And if I go with 3 by 8, you can see it works. There's my 3 by 8, and 3 and 8 makes 11 and 11, which is 22 centimeters for the perimeter and 24 for the area. So we're talking about 3 by 8. Same type of problem. 72 is 9 by 8. Let's see if that works. 8 by 9. And that is 18, and 16 is 34. I just added up the 18 and the 16, my sides, and I get 34 inches for my perimeter. Oh, sorry, it didn't show. And my area is 72, so it's 8 by 9. Each side of a square playpen is 3 feet long. What is its perimeter? Be careful, make sure you read the directions. The perimeter is equal to 4s for a square. And in this case, it's 4 times 3, which is 12 feet. Even labeled my answer. Try and go a little faster so we can get through this, guys. What is its area? Well, 19 by 4. 19 by 4, which is 76 square millimeters. Make sure you read the units. Make sure you're doing the right one. 100 square feet, how long is each side? Well, 100 square feet is the area. So area equals S squared, and that is 100 feet squared. And if we take the square root of both sides, you get S is equal to 10 feet. Hopefully you guys can go a little faster than I'm going. Square this time. What is the perimeter? That's 4S, which is 36. I'm just going to write it in. 24, perimeter is 24, and the counter is 9 feet long. So the perimeter equals 2L plus 2W, and we've got 2 times 9 plus 2W is equal to the perimeter, which is 24. We subtract the 18 from both sides, doing a little bit of combining there. And I've got 2W is equal to 6 in this case, so the W is equal to 3, in this case, feet. Okay, how wide is it? So we got the area. Area equals length times width. That's 126 is equal to 9 by W. And we're going to divide by 9 on both sides. 9 goes into 126, looks like 14 times. 14, in this case, inches. Oh, I said 14. There we go. Area of 32 with a perimeter of 24. Well, 32, 4 by 6, 4 times 8 just springs into my head, 4 times 8. Now, I could have went with 2 by 16 as well. I'll just show you the 2 by 16 just to put it in there. There's 16 by 2. There are other possibilities, but 4 by 8 is 32 square feet, and I want to have a perimeter of 24. Well, 8 and 8, 4 and 4 is 12 and 12, which is 24. And this is feet. So it's 8 by 4. Perimeter of 28 and an area of 40. I know the answer, but I'm going to go with 8 by 5 just to show you that sometimes you have to try things that don't work. And 8 and 5, and it's so close. It's 26 meters for my perimeter for this one. But I'm looking for 28. And of course, 4 by 10. Oh, I'm writing over my thing again. Put it over here. Sorry, it's ugly. 4 by 10 and 10 and 4 makes 14 and 14, which is 28 for my, and this is in meters. That is my perimeter, and it does have an area of 40. Uh, 9 by 11 is 99 yards, and that's square yards, and it will cost $6.30 per square yard. And we're going to multiply those to find it. Let me just show you something really quick. Basically, this is what I'm doing. 99, this is in yards squared, and I'm multiplying by $6.30, which is the cost, this is in dollars, cost per square yard. And the square yards cancel out to give me just dollars. So we have 99 times 630. 623.70. It's always good to write it in dollar notation. Double check my answer. There we go. What? 6:30. Oh. Oh, my eyesight. What in the heck? No. Did I put the wrong answer? I sure did. Oh man. I put a 7 instead of a 2. Okay. Well, I obviously need to put my glasses back on. All right, we'll do another one. Sorry about that, guys. I'll get it right this time. I'm going to go a little faster. This is areas 4. They're going to make it easy for me so I can get this done. I'm going to go a little faster now. Square is 20. What is the piece of gold's area is 400. When you square 20, you get 400. Square is 24 centimeters. Each side is 6. We're just dividing it into 4 equal parts. What is its perimeter? Well, that's 29 doubled is 58. Basically, I took these and added them together. That is 29, and then I doubled it because you want, did it again, there we go. 17 and 12 and 17 and 12. That's 29 doubled is 58. As I said, I want to go a little quicker. Get this guy done. Square is 26 feet. Wants a border that costs $2 per foot. Oh, each side of the square is 26 feet. So we want to put a border. Now a border, be careful. This is not a square foot problem. This is per foot. The border means that it's going to be a perimeter. And it's going to be 26 on each side. So you're going to take 26 times 4. And that's going to give you 96, I believe. 94, sorry. And then, what is that? That's 104. God, I can't multiply today. Sorry. 104 feet for my perimeter. And then we're going to multiply that by the $2 a foot, which is 208. $29 by 34, and we cost per square foot to build. What is the total cost of the patio? It's 29 by 34, which gives you your area, and then we're going to multiply the answer by 68 cents per foot. So we've got 29 by 34, and we're going to multiply that by 68 cents per foot, square foot. So this is going to be 986, and we get a total of 670, which seems reasonable, 670.48, which is about right. See if I can put it in right this time. Finally. All right, what is its perimeter? That is 19 millimeters for the sum, and we have to double it, so we're looking at 38 millimeters. Remember, this is not squared. This is just a perimeter. Wide by 142, and we want to frame it. So it's 142 by 80. And shall I do it in my head? I might as well. 6, 3, 11. And we're going to cost 19 cents per centimeter. I'm not going to multiply that one in my head. Check my multiplication. Yeah. Times 19 cents. 21.58.40. Wow. That's an expensive little deal there. Okay. Here we go. Not again. What did I do? Oh, God. I wondered why it was so expensive. I wanted the perimeter. I have really got to read my questions today. All right. Perimeter of a square is 52 inches. How long is each side of the calendar? We're going to divide by 4, which is 13 inches. Area is 99. Is 11 inches tall. It is 9 inches wide. What is its perimeter? 13 makes 32 times 2 is 64. Square that has sides 50 centimeters. What is its area? 2,500. 10. I've got to read the question. Damn it. 25. What is the perimeter? 25 and 7 makes 32 times 2 is 64. I have really got to start reading my questions. Okay, save time by doing them right in the first place. The area, we have the perimeter of 200. What are the dimensions of the yard? Okay, we may have to use a system of equations, but maybe not. We have a perimeter of 200, so it's rectangular. So let's try, all right, we want it to end in 9, which means that it may have a 3 in it. What are the dimensions of the yard, the area? Wow. All right. 13 and 7 does not end in 9. We also want to try. Oh, duh. Okay. What I've been trying to do is I'm trying to think of some dimensions that will give me exactly 9 at the end. And about the only way to divide it up is with a 9 and a 1. 1 times 9 is going to give us the 9 at the end. I know I need a combination that is going to have a perimeter of 200 feet. So I could try 29 and 71. And that's going to give me a total of 100. And when I double it, I get the perimeter. This is basically, I'm using the perimeter formula, length plus width times 2. So I know the length plus the width is 100. That's times 2 here that you can't see. I'm going to move myself out of the way again. God, I just keep getting in the way. Myself over here. There we go. All right. So what I'm using is I'm trying out this one. Now, if I take 29 times 71, I get this one has an area equal to 2059. Now, that's not big enough. Now, if I want a bigger area, I need to divide it up more evenly. So I'm going to try 39 and 61. That is also going to give me 100 if I add them. And so this is a possible length and width. And if I multiply, I get my 2379. '61. There we go. Okay, the perimeter is 120 and the area is 500. So this time we have a perimeter of 120. That means length plus width has to be 60. Put over here. Times 2 is equal to my perimeter. So a possibility to get 60 is 6 by 10. Now that does give me the correct perimeter, but unfortunately, let's see, about, talking about 120 perimeter. Oh, length plus width. How about we do, let's see, I need 20 and 40. There we go, 20 and 40. You can tell I'm getting tired already. 20 and 40 will give me a sum of 60. There we go, 20 by 40 is 800. Now, in order to get a smaller area, I need to divide it less evenly, like 10 by 50. And that does give me an area of 500. So we're talking about 10 by 50. Hopefully you can see I'm making lots of errors because I'm not reading carefully enough. Read your questions carefully. How long is each side of the room? The perimeter is 4s. And so we're talking about 112 is equal to 4s. We divide by 4, and s is going to be 28. Square has sides of 95. What is the area? So we've got a square. There, I even drew it right. 95 by 95, which makes 90, 25 when you multiply them. And we're talking about square centimeters. Surface, the perimeter is 32, and it's 6 feet wide. How long is it? The perimeter is 32, so the perimeter is equal to 2L plus 2W. The perimeter is 32 feet. We've got 6 feet wide. We have to subtract the 12, which gives us 20. So the length is equal to 10. So the length is 10 feet. And 10 by 6s. Yep. Each side of a square piece of plastic is 20 centimeters long. What is its perimeter? That's going to be 80. Got to read the question. The length and the width are ratio 2 to 1. The area is 18. Interesting. Okay, the thing that popped into my head was 2 by 9. Now I know that's not right because they have to be 2 to 1 for the sides, but that does give us an area of 18 square centimeters. So that's not going to work. So now what I need to do is try something else. Let's try 3 by 6. That's going to give us an area of 18 square centimeters, and it does have a ratio of 2 to 1. Now, be careful. It is possible for the length to be smaller than the width, but in this particular case, they did say this is the length to the width. So we're talking about 6 to 3. 8 to 1 this time, and we're talking about 72. The thing that comes to mind for 72 is 8 by 9, which is obviously not right. 9 by 8 does give you, oh no, it doesn't give you a perimeter. It gives you an area of 72. Whoops. We want a perimeter of 72. So my sum of length plus width this length and width has to add up to 36 in order to have a perimeter of 72. And I want this 8 to 1. Now, the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to use a pirate. I call this the pirate treasure problem. And what we have is 8 and 1 shares total, which makes 9 shares total. If each share, and if the 9 shares add up to 36, then each share is worth 4, and that gives me 4 times 8 is 32, and 1 to 4. What I did was I divided this 36 9 ways. Keep getting in the way. Put myself down here. And it's a way of sharing. And so there are 9 shares total, and each one is worth 4. And so it's 32 to 4. And the length is 32. And the width is 4. And it says we have a perimeter of 72, which we do. I like to double check there. Maybe one or two more. Okay, same deal. We have a ratio of 3 to 2. That means you have a total of 5 shares. It says that the area is 24. So in this particular case, I'm going to trial and error it a little bit. 24 could be 3 by 8. And that does have the 3 in it, but it certainly is not 3 to 2, is it? You can see that that's not going to reduce. 8 to 3 doesn't reduce, but 6 to 4 does. 6 to 4, and that does reduce 3 to 2. And it is length and width. And it does have an area of 24. 11 to 10 with a perimeter of 84. Now, okay, remember, if our perimeter is 84, that's 2 times the length plus the width. That tells us that the length plus the width is 42, doesn't it? That means, and we also have a ratio of 11 to 10. That means that we need 21 parts total divided into the 42, and each part has to be 2 inches. That gives us 22 inches to 20. And that will add up to 42. That will give us a perimeter of 84, and it will work out. And again, length is longer. I'm guessing there's one more. Okay, we have an area of 216, and it's a rectangle, and it's 6 to 1. Now this time we have an area of 216, and it just so happens that 216 is 6 cubed. 6 cubed is equal to 216. That helps because that means that if I take 36 times 6, I get 216. And we want it 6 to 1. 36 to 6 is 6 to 1. And that does work. So my length is 36 and my width is 6. Sorry, this one took forever. Getting really tired of it. It's definitely correct. 36 times 6 is 216, and 36 to 6 is 6 to 1. Hope you all have a much better time than I did. Make sure you read your questions carefully, and make sure you're awake before you get started. Good luck, everybody.